And welcome to Zero to Hero Part 22, which is ANB Silver 9 Part 6. Last time out, ran Troll 70, so I was able to make this final piece of experience farming jewellery from the custom ephemeral jewellery that drops on that level. Ideally what I want to do by the end of today's episode is have the character at least champion level 750 or higher, so we can start thinking about gold farming, because at some stage I'm going to need to craft a legendary set of experience farming gear. As well, I'm going to drop all the set items that appear from trolls and just put them not into that one, into there. So once I've got 18 of them, I'll salvage and see how many marker titans we get, because I'm going to need those to craft legendary gear too. So let's take a look at Troll 65 and see how that one goes. Troll 70 felt slightly too slow. Troll 60 can be a bit too fast, so somewhere in the middle might be good. Make use of that Talisman of Storms while it's up. Not a good map. We might die on this one. I think I might be losing aggro somewhere, yes. Get them back with some shatters. Okay, we're back on track, even though we've had a slight slowdown through losing aggro. That will draw out Kara. So that did save the run. So I think I'm going to farm 65 for a bit. Let's see what sort of drops we got. A Deirdre's Resolve, legendary. Very nice. Completely useless, but it's a legendary and a good chance for some Mark of Titans. So I'm filling up crit rating. Once that's done, crit damage, and then everything will go to power. Life on hits filled, so life regen, and I'm halfway through ability rate. Another 200 to go there, and that is filled up, so 50 more champion levels in there. 150. That's not even that, because there's, yes it is, I'm waffling. So yeah, I will be farming Trial 65 for a while, and we shall meet back up once that's done. And welcome back. Up to champion level 694, so in 6 more champion levels, so defense is filled, 6 more champion levels to get the utility filled, and then it'll be 50 champion levels into crit damage, and then its power all the way thereafter. I want to take a look at Trial 80. I've not run it yet, and see how that goes. I'm assuming it's unlocked, yes. So Trial 70, we've got enough crit damage that if the frost beam on Kara is a critical, then she goes in one hit. So a good run, we get a one hit kill on Kara. A bad run, we need to take a few beams to her. Let's get rid of some of these just in case they become unmanageable. Bad manoeuvring. It's better, it's thinned them out a bit. Have a lot of elites in that group, so we can just hang around. So we pulled her out reasonably quickly. That was just a regular thermal shock rather than anything critical. And we didn't get a crit with that one either. I do want to get Arc Lightning to level 10 as well. So it was over 2 minutes, so that's definitely not farmable yet. The drops are probably going to be better. Experience, yes, but it takes about nearly a minute more. So definitely don't want to do that. So we can finally just work on crit damage and then power. I want to try and farm a bit higher, because the more epics we get, the more essences, which I can then convert up to greater essences, so we can start working on some legendary gear. The first two bits will replace the two Apprentice pieces that I'm wearing, but with legendary I'll be able to put the crit rating into those as the fourth stat, so I can replace that at that stage once we're in a position to craft a few. I do have a full page of set items. I'm thinking of maybe filling up this page as well before doing a mass salvage and seeing what we get, because we don't have Mark of Titans yet in order to craft anything else. So I think I will stick with 70 for a bit longer, and if that starts going too quickly then we'll jump up again and take a look at 80 again together. So I shall be back a bit later. The most aptly named item in the game, the Vampiric Pads of Cruelty. Utterly useless, level 77. Thank you, game, for all the cruelty. These are going into the salvage, but it's going to give us some materials. That's good, because I'm going to need a lot of those, so that helps. Okay, back to farming. Just thought I'd share the cruelty of the game. Trial 70, I'm getting very close to a minute per clear, so let's take a look at 75. I know we're jumping about a bit. I'm just trying to establish a good place to farm still, and I do want to cover as much of the decision making process as possible, even if this is a really weird approach to ANB. The game has decided to throw me in a cave virtually every time. I think we have enough in that blob. We have hopefully more than enough in that blob. I'm going to wait for the sword attack and then beam. Yeah, so the critical hit does take her in 1 on 75, 1.5 minutes, so I think we'll step up to there for now and run down this last 10 minutes, see how many materials we've got at the end of that, and possibly craft a couple of legendary items, make a start on those. So we shall meet up again shortly. Okay, so the experience booster has run down. We have 26 set items to salvage, so let's see how many marker titans we get. I think I've got 4 of them just from random drops. 24, so that helps. So what I want to do is replace the helmet and shoulders, ideally with Elemental Lords Regalia now, so I'm going to add critical rating in on the stats. I don't think it will fully make up for the 210 that we get from these, but it's going to give us a 3-second cooldown on other abilities, which is going to help. I need to make a note of these as well, part of my crafting process. So first, legendaries. I did get the account up to mastery level 50, so we've got our full master crafter perk, so at least half our craft should come out at level 72. So let's see what we get for the helm. I'm only adding critical rating, I'm not putting in critical damage. Where we're farming for experience, the critical damage on the character is more than enough if it triggers, so critical rating's more important at the moment. I can have all the critical damage on Earth. If it doesn't actually get triggered, then there's no point in having it, and it's enough to kill Kara in 1 when it does trigger, so we'll take this for now. So our very first legendary craft, we've got a socket and a 72. Just making a note of that. Sorry if there's anything banging there, it's the headphones hitting the microphone. I'm trying to lean around. And the shoulders, we need to do those. So I'm going to put exactly the same stats on that. So let's see what we get here. And a 73. So I've made a note of that. perfect ability rate, perfect experience. Do I want to, let's see, haste experience ability rate, I want frost damage. I might do the Frostfire Sash with critical rating added in. Just writing it down, sorry it's a bit slow. So let's craft belts, unique, Frostfire Sash, critical rating, experience. I had ability rate and vitality, didn't I, on that? I will double check. Yeah, I'm going to go with ability rate because we are slightly under 1500. So a bit extra might just push us up to the mark that we want to be at. Or do I want critical damage? No, we'll take that. Not bad, 74. So I think for now that will do, because otherwise I'm going to blow through too much gold unless we look at some of the other trinkets. Definitely want to replace those, and we want to replace that. So what does that do for us? Perfect, that's exactly where we want it to be. I have 850. It's not a lot. Critical rating I'd like to get up above 40%. Talisman of Storms, let's see what we can get. Crit rating, haste, experience and ability rate. I don't want to spend too much gold at this stage. Converting essences, although we can do some water. I don't want, we're going to have to lose something. I want frost on there. Do we lose some haste? Or do we lose the ability rate that we just added elsewhere? I think I would rather lose that ability rate, to be honest. The night cloth. So this is a Talisman of Storms. What am I doing? I'm almost about to craft something completely and utterly wrong. It's mithril that I need. And we shall craft this. As a 72. I think that will do for crafting for now. It does mean we've gone up from 2200% to 3000% when that is active, but that's more than enough anyway. So our crit rating is up to 35%. Ability rate is still under. Ooh, it's a long way under now. What am I doing? That's why. If I pay attention to what I'm doing, I was thinking it shouldn't have been that low. So potentially that's fixable to 1500 via a socket. At the moment I'd like a little bit more toughness if we're going to get ready to go to some higher levels, so I could drop that power, but I'll keep that as it is. I'm going to pause the video while I have a think about what to do next. Okay, so in my stash I remembered I had a brilliant amethyst, so that does get us to 1500 ability rating. So we've got not quite, well, we will with, actually, what is our 99%, so times 5, 495, 495 plus that does get us to 2000, so we do get maximum alacrity, so that's lucky. We have just crept in on that, so alacrity has a 50% chance to reduce the cooldowns of all skills by a bit. I can't remember what the actual value is now. Experience has dropped slightly, that's not a problem. I have popped another 200% booster. I bought that from Ruby. So I think what I'm going to do is, let's take a look at trial 80 again together. I have no idea how it's going to look, and then I will bring this down to 6 hours 20, and we will need a gold farm because I would like to convert up some essences. I mean, according to that we can run a lot higher, but it wouldn't be efficient use of time. I do know that the gear that I currently have equipped is enough for us to reach Trial 110, which was all the original target was, so I'm not worried about not reaching that. I know that we can do 110 because I had a practice with the main account just with blue gear and 1100 champion levels assigned. So we're already in much better gear than that. We should definitely reach 1100 champion levels. It would help if I actually landed that. Now I've lost aggro on everything, which was silly, so it's slowing our run down. Let's wait for these swords now. Yeah, so a critical hit is still enough to kill Kara in one at 80, so I think I'm going to farm there for a bit. That wasn't the fastest run possible, but I did make quite a few mistakes. It's always happens when I'm talking and playing. So that's where the new farm zone is, and we'll meet up either when I jump up to 90 or somewhere, or if we take a look at 90, or at the end of the half hour, and I think it will probably be end of the half hour instead. Champion level's coming along nicely now, so we're we're getting there. It's not the fastest progress you'll ever see in the world, but we're starting to build the legendary EXP set, and I think things are gradually coming round, so no need to panic. Certainly not yet. Anyway, okay, I'll see you again soon. I thought I'd end up today's video just explaining why I've not added critical damage to any of the legendary bits that I've crafted, and why I don't plan in adding any. The reason for it is I've already got 850%. This is more than enough for experience farming. I could not put any in on champion points and just put the rest on power. Because I've got it on these 3 items, I've got 650%, and if you consider Firelily build, that gives you 500%. It's 500% every time. You're guaranteed 500% extra damage. This requires my crit rating, 36%, 37% chance of doing this damage. We know from previous ANBs where I've used Firelily builds that 500% is more than enough, even at 105, to take Kara out in one hit. So if I'm lucky enough to get a critical hit, she will go down in one. The only argument that is valid as to why you should have more is that every hit from Frostbeam has a chance to critical hit as well, but in terms of experience farming, the bulk of your damage is coming from the thermal shock at the end of your Frostbeam attack, which is more than enough even with that 650 for the mob phase. So it is just a case of, are we lucky on Kara to get the crit? And if we do, she goes down in one, and if we don't, she survives. And no matter how much crit rating we've got, she would still survive, or no matter how much crit damage we've got. So that's purely the reason that I'm not adding any extra in. He says doing a terrible run that needs to be abandoned. I will collect that 1 hour book. That's me waffling away and not paying attention and not pulling enough mobs. If I just pay a bit more attention this time, hopefully we won't have such a bad map. And if the pathing would stop doing stupid things like running the wrong side or the long way around a rock. That's one that I won't blame on the devs, having complained about Garm and Silence yesterday, or a couple of episodes ago I should say. I have got myself in a bit of a pickle here, but we should be okay. Run out there. Now we just need to hope that we get a crit on Kara just to show my point. That was just a regular thermal shock, no crit. That doesn't help. But anyway, she's gone. So I don't actually need to add in any more crit damage into the build, so I can stick with, when I upgrade these, haste, ability rate, experience, and just increase my chance of that crit hitting by adding crit rating. There's no need to add any more crit damage at the EXP farming stage, so it's purely if I come to build push set, then yes, I do need to think a lot more about that. I'm probably going to stick with this just because it does do a little bit more damage through the frost beam itself, but it makes absolutely no difference to how quickly you kill Kara at the end. So I can safely just upgrade the rest of these items by adding crit rating when we come to build the legendaries. So I hope that explains my crazy theories. I think I've gone slightly over as usual. Where are we? Champion level 948. Arc lightning and endurance for upgrading to level 10. Yeah, we're going to easily hit the original target of 1100 champion levels. I can almost imagine a scenario where we end up farming Troll 105, but I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself and utterly fail in achieving that, but it's potentially on once we've got a full legendary set. But we need to get a gold farm in between somewhere as well. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask down below, and thank you very much for watching.